Hello friends, welcome back to Living with Cambriea and welcome if you are new. So I am so excited to be sharing Chris's story today. I helped Chris out right after him and my husband got home from a year-long deployment overseas, and as you can see, his house is in disarray. If you are new here, my name's Cambriea and I do a ton of cleaning motivation. I have my Wednesday cleaning videos to show you my routines and how I keep my home clean. But I also have this Sunday series, which right now is like my heart and soul series. I love showing real life situations because I know often we look at YouTube and you see the perfect houses and the perfect families, and it can feel not so realistic, and I wanted to share stories of everyday people. This is Chris. He is a Army National Guard soldier. He also is a firefighter. He's a single guy other than his little pup Harley, and his life just got crazy and he needed some help, and that's okay. So in this video, you are going to see a ton of cleaning motivation. You're going to see some organization ideas, not so much decluttering, which I kind of wish, but he does have those hoarder tendencies, especially with clothing. So I really hope you guys enjoy some real life cleaning motivation to get you motivated, because you know what? We don't all have that perfect situation where we can spend a day making sure our house is perfect. Single parents out there, or maybe you have an injury that makes it harder for you to keep a perfectly clean house, or work a full-time job like I used to do with a bunch of kids running around, and you would rather come home and hang out with your family than clean your floors. So if you guys want some real life cleaning motivation to maybe tackle just one room at a time to get your house in order, I sure hope you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with any new content I have coming out. So first thing that I do when I'm helping out these different families is I love to ask them which room gives them the most anxiety. Now I say that because we all have rooms in our house that we open the door and we just feel anxious. And for Chris, that was his bedroom. He wanted just somewhere that he could go in and have that like peace of mind, and with all of his clothes being around and everything and just not quite knowing how to organize everything, this was giving him the most anxiety, which I totally get because my bedroom is my sanctuary. I love it to be clean. I don't allow the kids to bring toys into our bedrooms, nothing. I want that to be my space that if I just need to take a breath, I can go in, it's clean, it's relaxing, and I can have my own space to really wind down. So we started with his closet, where it definitely needed good dusting. These different shelves, like I said, a year-long deployment, so you can imagine the dust buildup, but also just get it organized so everything fit so much better. These shelvings were kind of in a weird area, with them being right in the middle of the closet. It made it kind of difficult, but I knew we could get it all figured out with some good folding techniques and just keeping everything in its place and with like items. So all the pants together, all the sweatshirts together, hang up the stuff that can be hung up. I did notice he doesn't keep a ton hung up, so we wanted to focus on all of those things. So folding these clothes were very nostalgic. This is a lot of his firefighter uniform, and my father actually was a firefighter with Chris for not very long because Chris got on near when my dad was retiring, but I was so used to folding my dad's uniform that this was very nostalgic. Now, one thing I can say when it comes to clothes and organization, often the way you fold stuff makes a huge difference of how much you can fit in an area. When you just kind of shove stuff It makes a lot less room than having a nice, neat folded setup. Now, when I fold stuff, I try to fold it if it's in drawers, the file method or KonMari method. And then here in the open shelves, I just tried to make them as flat and room as possible and organize the shelves by type of clothes. So sweatshirts and pants and all those things. I will say, yes, I really badly wanted to color coordinate, but I just did not have the time on this day to color coordinate. And let's be realistic, he may keep up with the folding, but I don't think he'll keep up with color coordination.
You can see, you'll never make it alright. Take a leap or I'm out of sight. Cancel the ring. I've got a thing I've gotta say. Don't call me babe, this won't work out. I just wanna shout, you're not the one. Don't you second guess me, no.
Now, these dressers were a big part of the puzzle for me. I wanted to move all of his socks and stuff into these small, deeper drawers in the closet. That way I could get these more organized, especially the t-shirts and everything. He had them folded fairly nicely, but you couldn't see them all, as well as they just didn't all fit because they were just put in there the typical way. So we were going to file fold them all, that way he could see everything, as well as fit a lot more into these dressers. Alright, you can't tell me it's not completely satisfying to see all these t-shirts nicely lined up and in a row. I will say the only thing that would be more satisfying than this right here would be color coordination. But once again, time limit, and he's a guy that just probably wouldn't keep up with it.
Ditch and recall.
And then once I was all done with the clothes, I really wanted to make this a nice, comfortable room for him to be in. There was definitely the bed that He's a single guy, so making the bed probably isn't a priority for him. But before I left, I wanted to make sure that I had the bed made nicely. Everything was dusted off. That was definitely a need. Like I said, this was right after a year-long deployment. He had not come home and dusted, so there was definitely a lot of dust and dirt to clean up, and I really just wanted to help him out and make sure he had a nice clean place to come home to after a long day of work.
We do together, we think do like never. You get me started, rushing my head like sake, kicking me like karate, yeah. You do the good stuff, I never give you a rebuff, sweeter than chocolate syrup, yeah. Life's a masquerade, but you take off my shades, Do what you do, and I do what I like to. That's how we do. Do what you do, and I do what I like to. I like you. We do together, we think do like never.
And then one big thing I wanted to do is make sure these top drawers of his dressers were a little bit more cleaned out. These are the skinny drawers that you often don't know what you should put in. I love using them for the things that you just throw on top of your dresser. A notebook or your keys or credit card, anything that you just come home and you kind of throw on your dresser. I wanted to make sure that these top drawers were empty. That way he could just throw them in there. I feel like it's really easy to let a space get destroyed if there's a lot of clutter to the eye, where if everything has a home that's tucked away and not visually messy, it's going to be a lot easier to keep up with a space.
We think do like never. We do together, we think do like never. I've tried, written down the words to say it is time. I've been waiting 5 days to explain how you make me feel inside. Baby, got it all figured out, wanna do this right. There's no doubt in my mind, baby, you're the one. And tonight, I am going all the way. The way you touch my hair, it all goes away. The things I planned, the things I would say, now I keep rambling on. I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you. Ooh, 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 and all the things that you do. Ooh, ooh, sounds like a fool, 'cause when you touch my hair, the words goes away. What I am trying to do is say I love you. You don't know how I shiver inside.
So when I'm cleaning other people's houses, I use a lot of what they currently have. So their vacuums, their mops, all those things. I will say I was really missing my really nice vacuum. He had one of those central house vacs, but this one wasn't that great. So that is one thing I miss. But I do not like taking my vacuum to other people's houses just because it does hold on to the dust and dirt that's at someone else's house. And I wouldn't say I'm a germaphobe, but I don't like bringing someone else's dirt into my own home. So when I go to other people's houses, I do try to use what they have for the cleaning. But I was so happy at the end of the day how his bedroom turned out. It just looked amazing.
Like a fool, 'cause when you touch my hair, the words goes away. What I am trying to do is let you know that when you touch my hair, it all just goes away. just a plan to say, oh baby, what I am trying to do is let you know that when you touch my hand, it all goes away. The things I plan, the things I would say, now I keep rambling on. I sound so cliche. What I am trying to do is say I love you, and all the things that you do. I'm so in love with you. It sounds so stupid now. What I am trying to do, what I am trying to do, what I am trying to do is say I love you.
And then it was on to day 2, week 2, whatever you want to call it. I made this where I go out once a week to help these families. That way I don't really give up too much time with my family. Once a week, though, I can get out of the house and help someone out. So the next week, or day 2, I went back and we worked on his kitchen, another area that was in some desperate need of some organization and cleaning and just a little bit of everything. So we started working on this, and this was definitely a long job. I believe I showed up at 10 a.m. and left at 6 p.m. on this day. I am trying to remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure those were the hours that I spent on this day. So this was definitely a long project. So I wanted to start in the pantry here because he had a lot of stuff on his counters, on top of his fridge, and all of that. So I knew if I could organize the pantry a little bit better, that I could get more of the stuff into there as storage. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this definitely would work a lot better if you go to the dollar store and get some dollar store bins. However, I like to use what's in the homeowners' houses, giving them no excuse of, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. This is everything that is already in the house. I do mention when I'm done doing the different rooms, things that I would recommend that would make it even better. However, there's no going out and buying stuff ahead of time unless they want to do it. I want this to be as realistic as possible, that you can go in your house, shop your own home, and make things work. Another thing with pantries I highly recommend is, as you're pulling stuff out and looking at it, look at the expiration dates. A lot of times there's stuff that's hiding that you don't even think about. So if you're taking the time to go through it anyway, definitely look at the expiration dates. Also, if you have stuff in big boxes, if you can condense them out of that, for me, like with having kids, fruit snacks or Rice Krispie treats or all those things come in huge boxes, and you can actually make a lot of room just by condensing all that stuff down. Harley was so cute right here because she really was curious why I was moving all of her stuff and all of her food but I just wanted to make sure that this bottom area was nice and cleaned out, especially since he does keep Harley's food down there.
Open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. Shadow and me are one. Oh, oh, the sky is on fire. The lake has turned to a golden sun. Oh, oh, I'll never get tired. I just wanna dance, just wanna let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. The shadow and me are one. Oh, oh, the sky is on fire. The lake has turned to a golden sun. Oh, oh, I'll never get tired. I just wanna dance, just wanna
And then after I was done with the pantry, I just moved on to everything else. I wanted to clear off the counters, figure out what everything was, where everything could go. Now, I have said in previous videos, if you're going to declutter, I don't think you should deep clean when you're taking on a big project. I feel like people get too overwhelmed by doing too much at one time. So this wasn't a huge declutter, so I did more cleaning than I normally would in my decluttering videos. But I still wouldn't call it a deep clean per se. I did not pull everything out of the cabinets and wipe all the cabinets out. This was just kind of getting the kitchen back to ground zero. He's a guy. He's a single guy. So cleaning the appliances, the counters, probably is not top of his mind. So this was more of a traditional cleaning. However, for his house, it was a big deal and definitely needed just that basic wipe down of everything.
It's so much harder now to reach you. Your heart is floating in the sky. We known each other for so long. We know our love like an old song. Sing along one more time. It's so much harder now to please you.
Now, this corner over here was the big reason I wanted this pantry cleaned up. He had so much on the counters, and it is kind of a weird little area because that corner tucks in, and then you have the refrigerator right there. However, when it comes to eye clutter, I feel like that is a big deal. Having too much stuff out, even if it's stuff you use all the time, it really gives you too much visual clutter. And if you have that visual clutter, you're more likely to just throw something on the counter and be like, oh, it's just something small, not a big deal. But after you've done that 10 times, you now have a huge mess you have to clean up. So I try to keep the visual clutter on the counters and everything down to a minimum. That way, if you throw something on the counter, it stands out like a sore thumb and you want to put it away.
Closing in on heaven, and I know we'll be alright. Be alright, be alright. Yeah, I know we'll be alright. We are closer now than ever, and I know we'll be alright. Be alright, be alright. Yeah, I know we'll be alright. We are closer now than ever, and I know we'll be alright. Be alright, be alright. Yeah, I know we'll be alright. We are closer now than ever, and I know we'll be alright.
So I'm definitely guilty of this myself. One area that I know a lot of people forget is the top of the refrigerator. And I do it myself. I often won't think about it till I have to get something out of that top cabinet. So I do try and force myself to think about it. But here is a great reminder to get that ladder out and clean the top of your fridge. Not only does it get dusty, but because it's in a kitchen, it'll also get greasy. So it is very, very important to try and remember to do this, even though, like I said, I'm guilty of it myself, that sometimes I go up there and I'm like, ooh, I have waited way too long to wipe this down.
I'm still sky high, but I just know what to avoid, baby. Don't let me down. Me and my army, we will stake you out. Whoa, one step ahead and
This was another transformation I was super, super happy with. Now, it's funny because the next time I went over there, he actually felt bad because there was a couple things on the table and he had just made cookies with a friend the night before and things like that. However, this is not about you having to have a perfect kitchen all the time. It's just always to have that goal that if that surprise guest comes over, it only takes you a quick 5-10 minutes to tidy up. Is your kitchen going to be perfect and a showroom kitchen every single time? Well, in my mind, not if you are a real person actually using your kitchen. So just think of it as trying to make it to a point where if someone pops in, you can do a quick 10-minute tidy up and you are ready to go. And then we were on to the next day where not only I went out there, but my husband actually went out there as well. And the guys were working in the garage. My husband was there, a friend and her daughter was there, as well as another guy friend. So they were all working outside and I got started in the family room.
This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m., I'm not even tired. We're in your car, we can drive away. Oh yeah, we're almost there. I'm loving this feeling of something new. Just right what I needed. Take me there, we can drive away. Oh yeah. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive.
Now, when it comes to cleaning supplies, I always have a bunch of my microfiber cloths. Now, my microfiber cloths are only yellow and orange, so often you can't tell that I change them out, but trust me, I do a lot, especially because there is so much dust in this house. Now, when it comes to cleaning products, normally what I'm going to recommend is an all-purpose spray, or in this situation, like a Wood for Good. However, this, like I said, had not been cleaned in a long time, so I was actually using a antibacterial cleaner just to really get everything clean, disinfected, and everything. But for a daily basis, I would normally recommend a Wood for Good, especially on your wood stuff, and then a all-purpose spray for everything else. Like I said, I just like using a disinfectant when I know something hasn't been cleaned in a year.
Don't wanna wait all my life. Can't remain, no delay. Gotta let go. We can drive through the night, sing along to the midnight radio. Don't wanna wait all my life. Can't remain, no delay. Gotta let go. Listen to the midnight radio. Listen to the midnight radio. We can drive through the night. Oh, don't wanna wait all my life.
Now, one thing you will notice a lot is me vacuuming a lot throughout this. There was a lot of dog hair and different stuff on the ground, so I wanted to pick it up as I was going. That way I wasn't just pushing it around. Also, yes, you do see people coming in and out of the house. That is because, like I said, the guys were outside in the garage and his shed working, and then the girl was actually not only watching her daughter, but my kids as well. So you do see them coming in and out. Don't worry about it. I know sometimes people feel like if they see someone else, they should be working too. Everyone in this situation was helping out in their own way, and it really did help out when I had her watching the kids, the boys were outside working in the garage, and I was getting the family room cleaned.
Hello, how'd you do? I'm not broken, I'm just split in two. Hope you're fine, ain't got time to do everything you said you would. Frames of the past and the memory of you just come running by. Pictures of sunny days with your smile in the bar. How could they say I was broken? How could they say you made me come undone? Now I know that it's okay.
So, no, I don't normally wash the floors on my hands and knees, but in this situation, right behind the couch, I wanted to wipe down the baseboards, and I figured since I was down there anyway and I wanted to put the couch back, I might as well just do a quick wipe down of the floors on my hands and knees. In this situation, it really was just faster to do it this way than getting out the mop and bucket, especially since, and you'll see, I kind of had to jerry-rig a mop because all he had was a Swiffer wet pad thing, which I don't mind for quick cleanups, but for actual, cleaning, I don't like them. So I had some fun jerry-rigging a mop in this video.
It was not meant to be a fairy tale with a happy end. Girl, you take care now. I hope we can be friends. How could they say I was broken? How could they say you made me come undone? Now I know that it's okay. Unlike my friends, you are nothing like them. How could they say I was broken? How could they say you made me come undone? Now I know that it's okay. Unlike my friends, you are nothing like them. How'd you do? I'm not broken, I'm just split in two. Hope you're fine, ain't got time. I'm not broken, not broken, not broken. How could they say I was broken? How could they say you made me come undone? Now I know that it's okay. Unlike my friends, you are nothing like them. Unlike my friends, you are nothing like them.
So this cabinet was definitely packed full, but as I was going through it, once again, I noticed if it just had a little bit more structure, he'd be able to fit a lot more in it and not have the abundance of stuff on his coffee table and everything like that. I also found a couple trays, that way we could put it on the little shelf underneath the coffee table so that the things he did like to keep out wasn't once again cluttering up the eye. It kept the top of the coffee table fairly clean, but the remotes and all those little things you like to have out and maybe not put away because you grab for them all the time was in a nice, neat area. I love coffee trays or things like that. They're perfect in your bedroom, in the family room, anywhere, even for the point of if you put them on a table, it makes it a lot easier to pick that up, move it, dust it, and put it right back. So here I was just pulling everything out, completely cleaning it out, and then putting it back in a more neat, organized way. That way there was a lot more room for putting other things in there as well.
Look to the sky, here's to the sooner or later, the ocean and the sea, forever and a day for you and me.
Sail away across the water, set the pace, and discover every ocean, every sea. Forever and a day for you and me. Here's to the future, I'm feeling stronger. We do belong here, look to the sky. Here's to the future, I'm feeling stronger. We do belong here, look to the sky. Here's to the sooner or later.
This is totally a single guy's coffee tray. If you are a military wife or military family, you know exactly what that black tote is from. And he was pretty much using it as a coffee table. And you know what? Might as well. Like I said, sometimes you just use what you've got to use.
I don't know what it would take to see another way out of here. Look myself up, I can only glimpse the other world out there. And my heart's still burning. Take me on your journey. I remember when you told me to leave it all, come along. We could have gone high if I only knew I was the one to be wrong. My heart is burning. Now you're on your journey. Place me in your stories. Let me be a hero. Paint me up with colors. Take me on your journey where my soul is still alive. I don't know what it would take to fly the only way out of here and bring myself out to the other side where you might still be near. My heart's still burning. Take me on your journey. If I still knew what it means to thrive, I would have been gone already. The blood in my veins is about to dry if you don't come back for me. My heart is burning. Now you're on your journey. Place me in your story. Place me in your stories. Let me be a hero. Paint me up with colors. Take me on your journey where my soul is still alive. When I am in your stories, I can be a hero. Paint me up with colors. Take me on your journey where my soul is still alive. I don't know what it would take to fly. Give me wings and I'd give it a try. I don't know what it would take to fly. Give me wings and I'd give it a try. Remember you are is where I want to be. Am I ready to leave it all behind? Place me in your stories. Let me be a hero. Paint me up with colors. Take me on your journey where my soul is still alive. When I am in your stories, I can be a hero. Paint me up with colors. Take me on your journey where my soul is still alive.
I have to say, this was super satisfying to see something go from super dusty and dirty to just that beautiful wood look. Oh, it was the best feeling in the world. And then I just kind of put my girlish side to it. Guys just kind of throw things around, where I tried to put stuff very specifically and strategically. I can't speak, but hey, strategically, that way everything just looked really nice and gave them that really homey, comfortable feel.
Let's say I let you meet my friends. Let's say I let you have my number. Well, I guess this time I didn't stand a chance. Oh no, I am not in love, I am not in love, no.
And here you're going to see me vacuuming again, and then the jerry-rigged mop. So like I said, he didn't have a mop, but what he did have was a broom, and I had my rigs and some vinegar and hot water. And you guys know how much I love using just vinegar, hot water, and hey, if you have it on hand, some essential oils for the smell, but you don't even need that. So I just jerry-rigged a mop by putting the cloth on the broom and kind of used it that way, and it worked really well. I did tell him he had to jump on Amazon and buy a mop, because having just a Swiffer is not an acceptable mop.
I like what you do, baby, you're almost too cool, kicking my life like kung fu, yeah. With you there's no rules, talking as sweet as fruit juice, finding my spots like voodoo, yeah. Life's a masquerade, masquerade.
Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated with any new content I have coming out. This hoarder series I do every single Sunday, and then on Wednesdays I do a cleaning video showing you how I keep my house clean and tidy. Also, because if you guys have been with me for a while, you know I love knowing who made it to the end. So I've decided, let me know your favorite sports team in the comments below. I am a cheesehead, so any of you Packers fans out there already get an extra point in my book. And if you're not a sports fan, just, hey, tell me that. Say you're not a sports fan. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I love all of you guys so, so much. And I will see you next time. Bye.